Hey, thanks for buying the new rear bumper assembly from Black Diamond SSI. This here product now, as you can see, we laid it out here so you can see all the components that you're going to get when you receive the kit. It's going to be anywhere from the two extrusions, the main pieces to the rear bumper assembly, all the way through to the taillight assembly, which also includes the new LED light, which is sunken in, so you should never be able to hit it with anything normal. We have three different classes of rivets. We have the standard rivets, we have the structural high strength rivets, and then we have the flange rivets for the rear snow flap. On here, we're going to assemble some of this before we put it on. These are the end caps for the extrusions here, and these are all factory made plastic injection pieces that finish out the rear bumper. And then last of all is our snow flap, which is just basically a cosmetic piece, but it finishes off your rear bumper assembly. And thanks again for buying our bumper assembly. Okay, now we're going to remove the rear tail light assembly. First, we're going to take off the lens, and then we're going to take the four rivets that hold the mount on. Then we unclip the wiring harness from the rear tail light. Next step is to take the four rivets out. These two rivets here, we're going to drill from the bottom side. They need to come out because our rear tail light mount goes onto here. Our next thing is to get the front 6mm nut and bolt out of here, and then these four structural rivets here. So we're going to take off with a 10mm wrench and a 30 Torx. Next step is to grind off the rivet tabs on these structural rivets. Now we're going to take the three rivets here off of the bumper here. Now we're going to drill out the 9 rivets per side of the rear bumper. First thing you want to do after you get the rear bumper off is to take the rear tail light plug assembly out. You're going to want a sharp knife or pick or something, come into this piece here and push in and push back until this comes out. You want to take this out of the protective coating for a little bit. Then push the protective interlock back. Then do the same thing, take a sharp piece here and right in this here and pop this up and out. And now you're going to want to get the 3 pins out of here. So you're going to take one of these at a time. You're going to rotate the, you can see we're going to rotate 180 degrees. And most of the time it's easier with a pliers, but then you can take it and you can pull it right out. So you want to take this, rotate it 180 degrees, And then the last one. Now all of our wires are exposed, and then we're going to use this later to install our rear tail light. Now we're going to take the rear bracket off of the running board. We're going to use a die grinder or a cutting pliers. Now we're going to take the piece here that's left on, that's riveted on, and we're going to bend it down. All right, so once you've got your rear bumper assemblies out on your bench, you're going to take these short end caps, which would be the front end caps. These are the rear end caps. You're going to install these. This will be your next, or actually your very first part of your installation, is to install these caps. So you're going to make sure, you'll see the wedge here. Each side has got a different front and rear cap. You start it here, push it in, and then you're going to take and tap it until it's all the way in. Now that you've got this pounded in, you're going to take an 1/8 inch drill bit, drill through the plastic. You're going to grab one of the 1/8 inch rivets, and then you retain the end caps on. All right, the first thing you want to install is going to be the rear snow flap, and there's the 4 large flange rivets that you're going to use to install it. All right, now we're going to install the right side of the rear bumper, and as you can see here, these have got grooves in here which will actually encapsulate the side tunnel piece, and we're going to show you how to install it here. So you're going to take this up here and get it right in front of the running board rear support, and you're going to make sure the bottom of this here is against your side of your tunnel, and you pound it up there, and then you're going to take this, move it down until the holes line up for your rivet, and install one rivet here first from this side. This is only temporarily put in just for alignment purposes. Now we're going to come back here, and we're going to take this and pound that up, and you'll see right here that it's in the groove. The side panel is, or the side tunnel is in the groove. And now we're going to drill this hole right here. And once we have this hole, then we're going to go back to the front. Then we're going to install our rear cap. And then we're going to drill through the plastic here, but it's going to be very careful. You only go through the first layer. Now we're going to drill the 1/8 inch hole in the rear part. All right, now we install the high strength structural rivets in from the inside. Now we're going to be drilling out all of these holes, or every other hole on the tunnel that you're going to use. And you can see these are highlighted where we took them off the original holes here. So we're going to be drilling these out now. Okay, drill and install the rivets every other hole. Make sure after you drill these holes, these outside holes, that you do blow the chips from the drillings out of here. Otherwise you won't have a good seal against the bracket and the tunnel. As you can see, we started from the bottom and worked our way to the top of the riveting. Also make sure you blow out again this section after you drill it. Blow it out with some compressed air or something that can get the chips out of there. All right, now we are going to install our rear grab bar. You're going to have 3 heat shrink tubes that come with your kit, and we have them color coordinated, which you don't need to, but we just put the red over the red. Put the black over the black, and then we'll put the yellow over the yellow. Now, it's very important you put the correct color pins to the correct color of the light coming, or the wires coming out of the sled. So as you can see, this one is the red purple. The red purple is going to go with the yellow wire. And you're going to take this and insert the pin. And you're going to take the red wire, which is going to go to the blue yellow. And then you're going to take the black, goes to the black one. And now you have all 3 pins in. Once the pins are in, you're going to slide the heat shrink tubing approximately halfway in the middle over. You'll see about what it looks like. It's about 1 inch on each side of it. And now we're going to get some heat, and we're going to heat shrink these together. Right, now that you have the heat shrink over all 3 of them, you're going to take a heat gun, is what we prefer. You can use a small torch also, but we prefer a heat gun. Make sure these 2 rivets are drilled out prior to this step. And then once you have those drilled out, make sure you take some electrical tape and secure the ends of the plastic sheath over the wires. Then we're going to take these wires and we are going to push those inside of the tube. And then from the back, you're going to rotate this in place. All right, so once we have this rotated in place, we're going to install these 2 countersunk screws. And what you want to do is just get them started. And it's a lot easier to use a number 40 Torx bit to get it instead of trying to get your fingers around a countersunk screw. Install the rivets from the top first. Make sure that your shield for your wires, the inside tunnel shield, is the rivets are through those, and then rivet it on. Now we are going to drill out the last rivet that we need to install, and that's on this last section. And then we rivet it. So the last item that we want to do is tighten these last two countersunk screws into our rear bar. It's a number 40 Torx, and you can tighten this thing. All right, now you want to do a walk around of the bumper, making sure that you have all of the rivet holes with rivets in it, and you can look at your bumper, both the outside and the inside, and make sure all of those rivets are installed.
For more information, just go to our website, www.bd-xtreme.com.